Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Spending Time with Gregory. It's Friday. Hope everybody's having a good morning so far. I'm feeling pretty good. Came to Starbucks to have a cup of coffee and get some last minute studies done. I got some classes that works needs to be turned in tonight, 11:59 turn in. So trying to get some last minute studies in. I kind of took the day off from my internship. I was getting kind of burnt out. I was there, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So I was getting kind of burnt out. So I decided to take a day off, work on my studies, do some bike riding, some self-reflecting. Appreciate you guys looking at my videos, following me on this video journey, video journal, as I would say. I want to bring, tell you what's going on with me, and in turn, I keep up with myself, because I need to continue on a day-to-day basis, work on myself and work on what I need to do to be a better person. Now, if I can encourage somebody, just by watching, knowing, just by watching and saying, hey, if Greg can do it, I can do it, because I got a buddy I always talk to, he always say, Greg, you've been in the trenches. You've been in the trenches. You've been in the valley of the shadow of the living, however he said, but he always says that, you've been all the way down. And for you to, be where you are today, it took a lot of listening to people, humbling myself, realizing I needed to change, So I appreciate you guys coming on here listening to me, talk about what I need to do to make myself a better person. Now, you might hear that in every one of my videos, because, I want to encourage myself and encourage people that, hey, you can make changes. You can make changes in your life to do different things, so that's what I do today. I appreciate my sister and my mom. They're very supportive, and they've been that way over the years. Been very supportive, and I know my mom. She's worked hard over the years to, stand by me, and I appreciate that. I was talking to her last night, and she was telling me about, some of the ladies, at her job where she drives the bus that are watching my videos and are supporting me, listening to me, and I'm looking forward to seeing my videos. And I like to say to those ladies, I appreciate you ladies, for coming on and listening to me talk about what's going on with me, talk about what I need to do to make myself a better person. And I hope that, my videos can encourage you, to make yourself a better person. And I thank you ladies for watching, and I'm going to keep, bringing the videos, because, I love working on myself. Yeah. This is kind of like my first time, in a while coming to Starbucks. I used to come here a lot when I was working on my bachelor's degree, and I used to meet classmates, and we'd go over our studies, and Starbucks is kind of like a safe, comfortable place where you can reflect and have a cup of coffee, maybe have a little snack or something, and just get into your studies, and that's what I'm doing this morning, and I plan on doing it a lot more. After this, I think I'm going to go ride my bicycle on the beach, do a little bit of that. You know, some self-care, and yeah, I love it. Like I said, we deal with issues. We have our own personal, whether it be health issues, social issues, spiritual issues, challenges. Just working on yourself, man. I mean, guys, just continue to work on yourself. This journey has been interesting for me, because it gives me an opportunity to just share. One day I'm gonna sit down and tell you guys my story I'll go back 12 years, when I first started on this journey. I'll go back 12 years, and I've been on a good pace for the last 12 years, doing all the right things, mending relationships, that were broken. I've been working on this job, for about 6 years now, helping people change their lives, and I'm passionate about, helping people. Today, when you're working in the field that I'm working in, it's all about, trauma-informed care, not, it's like what happened to you, not what you do, but what happened to you. That's how trauma-informed care is. When I was coming up, there was no trauma-informed care. You got to get it how you get it how you live, whether, staying in treatment or coming out of treatment, or staying in the relationship, or going out, staying in the marriage or leaving the marriage. You had to get it how you live. There's no, like real, what happened to you, as a child, ACS, adverse childhood experiences, I guess when I was, years ago when I was coming up, we didn't look at the, what happened to you as a child. I guess the studies weren't done, or the research or the evidence-based stuff wasn't out there at the time, guys. But now it's out there, and it's helping a lot of people change their lives. Guys, hopefully I can get back with you later on today for Friday Evening Focus with another video. I appreciate you guys coming on and listening to me. We're gonna get into some action stuff now. We ain't gonna just be on here just doing a whole lot of talking, whole lot of kumbaya stuff, as my buddy would say. We're gonna get away from that and do some action stuff, And guys, I appreciate you. Help somebody today. Tell somebody you love them, and have a great Friday, guys, and I'll talk with you later. Thank you for spending time with Gregory.